Live now. Good morning, Cindy. I have been working a little bit on the clay. I'll just go to the other view for a second to say good morning. And I've been talking about my camera issues, and you really can't see close, even with my brand new camera. Let's switch to that view. Um, it was brand new anyway, because I'm going to have another brand new camera very soon, hopefully next week. And you'll be able to really see this detail in terms of the fur I'm creating. I'm turning it a little bit there so that you can see it. But what I've been doing is a new idea, a new technique. Frank and Jackie, good morning. I've been using a new technique, and I've just begun to do this little bit, and it's kind of hard for you to see. One of the things I didn't want to do is create too much of a deep effect. And I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let me switch to the other view. And I want to show you at least the way we learned, because this clay didn't exist when we were doing, in fact, let me go to the very beginning of the story. When we were doing sculpture for the giftware industry, for porcelain and for resin, we had to use what they had at the time, which was this brown clay by Chavant. It's there's an old Chavant cover, and you see the sculpture somebody did of an alien. But at the time, Chuck had done in the brown clay this absolutely beautiful People of the Sun. It's the story of the creation story of the Yavapai Native Americans. He wanted to create, and let me go real close on that so you can really see. There's huge detail in this sculpture that was afterward turned into bronze. So I have the bronze of this upstairs, and I have to pack it because we're going to be moving soon. So this brown clay was used in the automobile industry, as you can see, and I think it may be still used today. That's where Chavant, the company, became really big. It's not sculptors that created this company, it's the car industry. So you can see how they would have had the incentive to develop a lot of different clays over the years. This is over 10 years old, this brochure. And at the time, he did, let me just kind of show you. I can show you two very interesting ideas here. One was this cat, and this is where, look at the texture of the fur on that. It looks just beautiful. He had, and that was the head, and here's the body, the standing cat. It was a full-size cat, and this is resin that's kind of made to look like bronze, but that's not really bronze. But he originally did the work for United Design, and you can see a painted version of it there. This is resin. He also did this rooster that they painted. Let me see if I can hold that closer. I don't even have that scanned into our website, as well as producing a resin where he just wanted to make it look sort of like bronze. You can see that one on our website. But I didn't even know. I just found these pictures when I was cleaning up. So I'm cleaning up to move, right? And I'm finding stuff that, oh my gosh, I had no idea we had. But anyway, so my point, I guess, where I'm coming back to this is you had to use certain tools to create certain effects back then. And the brown clay, I love this, to see that the texture of the fur, how he has these levels like I'm trying to do, but he blends them at the end. He blends them so they're not just stripes. It's so well done. But I guess the point is, this was a sulfur-based clay back in the day, and you couldn't just use anything to smooth it. I mean, I never even heard of this product, the orange citrus cleaner, being available for use on clay back then. So I'm kind of carving out my own, excuse me, I'm dropping things, my own ways to do all these new things. And so coming across the heat gun used with this. I'm kind of excited because I'm going to show you now, and I'll close up for this. You almost only need the brush. Just make sure you have a cleaned off brush. So, okay, so I have the turpenoid natural, and I put it in here in my little jar because I occasionally clean that out when it gets gunky. So I had some freshly put in there, and this is crazy. I mean, I've never done this in my giftware career, but it's working. So what I do, I make sure ahead of time the brush is really cleaned off. Now, if I want, I can, remember I showed you these ball tools. I think that they're very helpful in kind of just establishing the direction of the fur. So you can kind of, this is not even sculpting, this is just making indicators of where the fur will go. So let me go close up on that. My new camera will have the ability to just zoom up on my command, if you can imagine that. I can't wait. But so this is not the greatest camera to see this level of detail. And just clean up the clay that's accumulating on the tool. Just kind of go through here like this. I mean, this doesn't take any ability other than just observing the length of the fur, like as it comes out of the body. You don't want to do long stripes. You want to kind of say, okay, if I were to clip his fur at the very base of his skin, how long might that be? So you still want that authentic length. And I'm just doing half of this right now to kind of show. But this is crazy because it works really well and it's super fast. And it's shocking because normally this takes forever. As you know, from my raccoon, I might go back and redo the fur of my raccoon because I actually like the effect of this. It's more natural looking to me in the end. All right, get rid of that little bit of clay. Now, ta-da, my heat gun. Let me do this from a distance because it's really crazy that it works so well. I'm very happy. Okay, so I just, and you can use a hairdryer. I think that would work fine too. And just get it so it's kind of shiny looking. That means it's warm. Okay, now here's the crazy part. I can actually use the brush while the heat gun is on and create this beautiful fur effect. That's something I've never done before. And it's really effective. And you can go back and forth and smooth it down and over. Don't get it too hot, just hot enough that it's kind of malleable. And I'm basically trying to clean off my brush, not get more medium on there. But it's so soft. I mean, it makes me think of the real fur. You can even use what they call the ferrule of the brush to sort of make new areas. It just keeps it nice and workable. All right. Is that a shortcut or what? But now, what you can't see very well, let me go switch to the other camera now, is the nice effect of that. It's just crazy because normally it would take me all day to get that fur looking soft and overlapping nicely. And you can go back and forth, create a little bit more shape. Now, if you don't like a shape, once you let it kind of cool down, you can recut into it. So you haven't lost anything if you don't like what you've done. But I am just very happy with this. There you go. You can barely see it, but can you see that okay in this video? Because, I mean, next time I'll be able to zoom right in on what I'm doing. And also, the new camera will be able to modify that light, which is so bright. It's sometimes really hard to control the lighting. But a better camera can close down their aperture automatically and let you see that detail. But that would have taken me all day to do something like that, normally in the past. Let me switch to my new view. It saves time, it does. You don't want to take shortcuts and sacrifice quality and sacrifice care of, and you're trying to create an authentic look. And then I clean it up by just always clean off your brush constantly because it's still soft here and I can still kind of cut into it. And if you go back on it, it creates a nice fur shape. Clean that off. And then I could heat that again if I wanted to. But yeah, it saves time and it looks better. I mean, normally you want to think, oh, I have to make fur. I'm going to have to, especially if you want fur like this. Holy cow, you've got to carve all that out with your tool like you saw me doing before. Yes, try on your raccoon. And I'm actually going to get my raccoon out. Because one of the things I like, and let's take the bigger brush. So definitely work with different size brushes for this. You can see I have a bigger brush. Now I'm going to take the bigger brush and I'm going to show you what I mean. And I'm going to do it one at a time this time because I want to control it. But some areas you're going to want to have smoother than others. And the smoothness is like the fur. I mean, look at that. You wouldn't see, unless he was sick, you wouldn't see it would look soft and smooth. You'll have a little texture, but not so much texture that it doesn't look real. Think about if you have a cat, where does it get tufty? The hair coming up, it's like right at the places where it turns the corner. Let's go close on that real fast so you can see. So I have it kind of tufty here because in the picture, whoops, there we go. You can see it kind of sticks out there and it sticks out right here. So that's where I make it kind of stick out. But on the back, unless the animal's sick or something, it would be very soft, very nice and smooth. And you can really go in and get the texture you want. But the other thing is, if you don't like it, you can fix it. And you can't do that with water-based clay so easily. Or if you try to air dry a clay, you won't. Yeah, now these brushes, Cindy's asking a good question here. Let's talk about these brushes. These are called silver. Ruby Satin Filbert. These are filbert brushes. And you know what? This turpenoid natural keeps them super conditioned. You will not ruin your brushes. In fact, you'll be keeping your brushes perfect if you want to oil paint with them again. They're kind of soft, but I want to say they're very soft, but see how they hold up. See how I can go, if I could do that. They're not going to lose their shape so easily as a cheap brush. So they're a little more expensive. I bought these for oil painting, but I love them for this process. I had to go through my brushes and try different ones. So again, I know you can get these on art sites like Dick Blick or Jerry's Artorama for oil painting. Let me see if I can hold it close. You know what? I'll put it in the comments. Silver Ruby Satin. The first one is a round, actually, 2500, and the bigger one is a filbert, 2503. But I'm going to get more of these because I'd like to try an even bigger one to just do an overall effect. And I found myself, let me switch views and then I have to go very soon. But I found myself holding the heat gun and going, it was fun to do. It's actually, when you're achieving an effect that looks good and you're having fun doing it, you can't beat that. So now it opens up a method for doing a lot more animals and even bird feathers, because, you could create sort of a fanciful bird feather effect. Then once it hardens, go in with your tool and then, very carefully say, okay, I want it to have a certain texture. See, you still have that ability, which is see how I could, now with my new, let me try to close up, with my new tool, my new camera, there's my limit. With my new camera, I'll be able to have a real close up and see it. Now I would be doing the kind of texturing on top of that and then just smoothing it with the cleaned off brush. And I can have absolutely beautiful detailed fur with this technique. So you can't really see it right now. I can see that it's a problem, which will be solved very soon, next week. No, I'm enjoying this now. I mean, it's like usually it's very tedious, but now I'm going to have fun. And we'll blast through different kinds of animals doing this technique, because now we can, like Cindy says, we can speed it up. Oh my gosh. And still make it look good. So I will say bye-bye for now. And thank you all for being on today. Thanks for all the questions. I really appreciate it. See you on Friday.